Prices are still soaring across the U.S. as inflation hits a 40-year high.
We understand that families are hurting right now.
That's costing you hundreds of dollars more a month on essentials like food, gas, and housing.
Nobody has money for anything, and now everything goes up higher and higher.
A Colorado boy killed after being bitten by a rattlesnake. Wildlife officials are reminding people to stay alert.
They're not necessarily going to come after you, they just want to be left alone.
And a painting business says it hasn't been paid for a job at a downtown Denver hotel and is now out hundreds of thousands of dollars.
They're collecting revenue, but we aren't. We aren't getting paid.
Plus, who will stay and who will go? The Avs are already making moves in free agency. Sky-high inflation is showing no signs of cooling down. Inflation is now at its highest rate in 40 years, and it's adding to fears the U.S. is heading into a recession. Thanks so much for joining us for Denver 7 News at 11. I'm Jason Grenauer. Inflation hit 9.1% last month compared to this time last year. It's an increase from 8.6% we saw back in May. The items seeing the biggest jump are food, rent, and gas prices. The high inflation report is pushing stocks lower today. Right now, the Dow is down about 91 points, which is actually better than when Wall Street opened this morning. Those higher prices mean we're paying hundreds of dollars more per month on goods. Rena Roy reports on those skyrocketing prices.
Sadly, there is not a lot of relief to be found in this report. And this report, I think, shocked a lot of people, even the experts on Wall Street.
Overall, Americans shelling out an extra $493 per month on the same goods, according to Moody's Analytics. The national average for the cost of rent up 25.5% from a year ago. A one-bedroom apartment more than $1,700 a month.
Rent's a big part of what's going on here. You know, rent makes up about a third of the overall consumer price index. Rent's up nearly 1% in just the past month.
The price of groceries also up, but wheat, global shipping, and gas prices are down slightly.
This report does not reflect the lower prices. Next month's report will show probably a little bit of an easing because gas prices have come down. But remember, we're still in the middle of summer. This is a high demand driving season. So any big relief at the gas pump will probably just be short-lived.
Drivers are still feeling the pain.
Gasoline is just too crazy. It could literally crippled our country, especially after COVID. Nobody has money for anything, and now everything goes up higher and higher.
This gas station in Phoenix offering a special discount, dropping gas to $3.99 a gallon to help people out.
They're dropping the price. My mission is everybody bring them down to help the community.
In some hopeful news, GasBuddy predicts prices could go down to $4.50 a gallon and possibly even more by August. There were no significant signs of cooling in this report, adding to growing fears of a possible recession. The Federal Reserve will likely continue increasing interest rates in an effort to tame inflation. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Despite indicators that gas prices could drop, Colorado's gas prices are still averaging about $4.84 a gallon. That's about 20 cents higher than the national average. We asked AAA why gas is more expensive here.
There's just a lot of demand for oil and for gas in the American West right now. Folks are driving. We are the road trip sort of capital of America when you look at the great American West. Folks are coming to and through Colorado. That keeps demand high. Our stockpiles were a little bit low heading into the summer driving season. So that's going to keep us above the national average.
Oil and gas prices will likely be a top discussion point during President Biden's trip to the Middle East. He landed in Israel this morning and will visit Saudi Arabia on Friday. Biden has said Saudi Arabia's energy resources are vital to the world's oil supply because of Russia's war in Ukraine.
The president believes that the price of gas is too high and that we need to do more with respect to global energy supplies.
Today, the president got a briefing on Iran's nuclear program. He'll also meet Israeli and Palestinian officials both today and tomorrow. Colorado health officials want freight and delivery companies to go electric, saying transportation is now the largest source of greenhouse gas emissions in the state. Well, the state wants 30% of all semi-trucks sold to be clean energy trucks by 2030 and 100% of them by 2050. Infrastructure and travel capabilities are just two concerns for companies like Pathways Leasing. They're a company that buys and leases trucks to operators who then contract them to carriers. The company says it's starting to look at the cost of clean energy trucks and whether they can get the job done.
Right now, I would say from a practical standpoint that we're not there. Our average client runs about 600 miles a day, and so the EVs have a range of 150 miles a charge, and so then you have to be at a charging station, and then have access to that facility, and so that all cuts into their time.
Pathways Leasing says it's aware of the state's goal, but right now it isn't in a spot where they can afford clean energy trucks. The company's owner says if the state's plan stays as it is, he might have to move his business out of Colorado. New details at 11. Denver police are looking for the suspects who hit 2 officers with a car. This happened when officers responded to a crash near Alameda and Zenobia around 7:30 this morning. One of the drivers sped off, hitting those officers. Both officers are expected to be okay. Police say the driver was in a maroon vehicle. If you know anything, call Denver police. Colorado wildlife officials are telling people to be on alert after a 6-year-old died from a rattlesnake bite. This happened at the Blue Stem Prairie Open Space in El Paso County when Simon Currat was out on a bike ride with his family. His dad flagged down a person on the trail for help. Paramedics were on scene within 5 minutes and took Simon to a local hospital. He was later taken to Children's Hospital in Aurora, where he died on Monday. CPW says the best defense is being aware of your surroundings. Don't wear headphones out on the trail. Be extra cautious in the morning or evening when snakes are the most active. If you are bitten, get a photo to help ID that snake and do not try to suck out the venom.
Best thing you can do, keep the bit limb below your heart, and then take off anything that might constrict blood flow. So rings, watches, wristband, things like that, and then get to a medical provider as quick as possible.
CPW says most bites occur on the ankles, so when you're out on these trails, they say it's best to wear boots with a heel in order to stay safe. Colorado is helping wildfire victims through the new Disaster Resilience Rebuilding Program. It's part of a bill Governor Jared Polis signed into law this year. People can apply for rebuilding grants and loans for fire-resistant building materials. This is for people who were impacted by 9 wildfires dating back to 2018, including the Cameron Peak, East Troublesome, and Marshall fires. Applications will be available starting next month or in early September. Mulching operations for part of the Cameron Peak burn scar start tomorrow. Officials will start in the Pingree Park area and mulch about 4,700 acres this summer. Mulching is one way to treat the burned area and improve the watershed. The brand new Thompson Hotel in Lodo opened its doors back in February. One father-son company that painted the high-end hotel is asking Contact Denver 7 why their small business still hasn't been paid. Drew and Dan Foster were subcontractors helping build the Thompson at 16th and Market. They say at first the payments were on time. When they finished the job 6 months ago, they say that money stopped. $200,000 short.
It's been crippling our cash flow, and we cannot continue to wait. We need the money now.
They're not alone. Contact Denver 7 found several other subcontractors have filed liens against that property, alleging hundreds of thousands of dollars weren't paid. Hyatt, which operates the hotel, says they're not responsible for paying the contractors who constructed it. Contact Denver 7 reached out to the developer, T2 Hospitality, but did not get a response. If you have a story you'd like Contact Denver 7 to look into, you can reach out by calling the number right there on your screen. You can also email us at contact7@thedenverchannel.com. Comcast customers might be missing out on another year of watching the Avs, Nuggets, and Rapids. The Denver Post reports Altitude's blackout is expected to continue next season. Altitude and Comcast are in a disagreement over the cost to renew Altitude's contract. Comcast customers haven't been able to watch Altitude in 3 years. Well, the Avs are making moves in NHL free agency. The team re-signed Josh Manson to a 4-year contract, and TSN is reporting Darren Helm is getting a 1-year deal. The Avs, though, are losing Nicholas Aube-Kubel. He signed a 1-year deal with the Toronto Maple Leafs. It's unclear what's going to happen with Andrei Burakovsky and Nazem Kadri, who are the Avs' top 2 free agents. Both players are expected to be hot commodities and are expected to at least listen to offers from multiple other teams. Speaking of hot commodities, tickets to the Broncos special training camp practice sold out in 10 minutes this morning. The Back Together Saturday practice is on July 30th. It has autograph opportunities and a sale on Broncos gear. Remember, you can go to other training camp practices without tickets. Training camp starts 2 weeks from today. Well, still ahead, buyers are finally getting some good news in Colorado's hot housing market. Plus, a Colorado family says they're being charged thousands of dollars from an airline. Now they're filing a complaint over what happened to them on their upcoming vacation.